Good morning, Seaford, Delaware. I heard just recently that they are voting, and it's almost hard for me to say, but they are trying to get uh, the vote, your right as a human being to vote, to put in the hands of corporations. There's a lot of corporations in Delaware, you know. It's Delaware corporation capitalist of the world. Seaford is kind of in the center of it, but it's a big, big warning to everyone. This stuff is insidious. It's eating at the core of everything you have known. People seem to be afraid of immigrants or whatever the heck it is. I don't know exactly what it is, but they're afraid of other people coming into the country, people not like themselves, apparently. And there's legitimate fears. You know, things happen. People aren't good. People are lousy, but not all the people are lousy. Got to go through this whole thing all the time. Minority of people cause the majority of problems. Minority, the very small minority of people have the loudest mouths, the biggest egos, the drives that cause sorrow. Understand this. And whatever is motivating well, I hate to say it, but anyway, well, I don't hate to say it. I'm sorry to say it, that this Republican sponsored initiative in Seaford, Delaware, and it may be in other places around the country, I don't know. I just heard about Seaford, but one's enough. Starts with one, passes, you know, they can say, oh, these people are entities, these corporations are entities. They're entities. They're not human. They have humans behind them, but the corporation isn't human. They're going to vote for the corporate right. And there may be some understanding and some legitimacy in some of this construct, but not if you just want humans to vote. Humans, not entities, not voting for profit, voting for your rights, your purpose, your protection, your freedom. You. I'd look into that if I were you, because this is not happening in a vacuum. I don't understand why it seems to be the Republican initiatives are all about all kinds of nonsense like this, restricting freedoms, banning books, all that nonsense. My gosh, man, foundationalism. Get to the core of who you are, the society is. The society is a good thing. It is not all what's going to, but it's big. It's too big. You cannot understand it. Nobody can understand the whole thing of government or laws or whatever. When they do a law, they don't even understand what the hell they're voting for. Don't give them that much credit because they can't read the whole thing. Some people do due diligence and research things. Others just vote. They get the little buzz line, just like on your referendums when you vote, you know, voting for a bond referendum, so and so, to get, oh, I want a new playground at the school, and you get a bond referendum, you vote on it. What does it do? You don't know. It's not just one sentence, get playground in school. There's a lot of money being raised, a lot of fingers in that pie. If you really want to know, you have to dig. You can't just read the buzz lines and think, okay, I got it. It isn't happening. But on this situation, I warn you, whoever's listening, this is worse stuff. and many things that these people are trying. This witch hunt mentality that they ingrained in their heads for whatever reason. Uh, as I said in previous clips, it's a sad, sad thing, and I really have to mention it again. This weaponizing law enforcement, saying that the Democrats are weaponizing this to get back at their Republican enemy. It's plain old crap nonsense. People have used people, law enforcement, to do that, of course, but it is not systemic. It's not part of the system. It's abused, as I said in the clip yesterday or the day before. It's a, it's part of the system that people use because they're bad people. And it isn't Joe Biden. It isn't Eric Garland. It isn't all these people that are known as if there are some magical powers that they can do. Yes, they have powers. J. Edgar Hoover, well known for his abuse of power. He was in there for years and years and years. He did some good. You have to read the biography of J. Edgar Hoover to find out exactly what good he did. But he established a law enforcement agency that's here to protect us. And as I said before, FBI, I've worked with FBI agents. I know they're good people. They live by the code. The code of what? The code of their oath that they took. Are some that don't? Obviously. Look at the movies, you see it all the time. Well, movies mirror society. But it's up to you to keep it straight. It's up to me to keep it straight. But this giving the vote to some profit corporation is nuts. Gee, I'm going to use that word a lot. It's nuts. It's not right. You know it, I know it. Stop it. Whoever's in Delaware, stop these idiots from doing that. It's going to grow if it catches on there. And it doesn't matter then. Just like when they're banning books. Jeez, all these Christian organization wants to ban books, this and that, and then the next thing you know, in Utah, they're banning the Bible. It's crazy. People aren't smart. The American wisdom is not wisdom in itself. There's a grounding. There's a foundation, as I've said a million times. Foundational issues. Go to the good. What is good? And good is something that you have to define in your heart. And I would argue that most people know what is good. Good for themselves, good for their families. I'm not talking about the criminal mind, the people that live to do harm in their, that's what they are. They're criminals. They got rap sheets up on their arm. They're criminals, man. That's what they think. That's what they do. Don't look at it the same way as a regular guy. When you hear some of these people spout this nonsense up there about how they're trying to protect you, they're not trying to protect you. There's a mountain of background. Democrats are in the hip pocket, I guess you say, of many corporations, many donors. But not to the degree, it seems, that some of these other people are. Like the people in Seymour, or Seaford, sorry, Seymour, I keep saying Seymour, it's wrong. Seymour's in Connecticut, Seaford is in Delaware. It's the Delaware one that's doing this thing. And I think it's going through the House, and of course, but you can talk yourself into anything. When you think the Founding Fathers are going to say, okay, this is a good deal, Seaford, no, they're not. They wanted individuals to vote. And they didn't want you to vote either, mostly. You had to be landowners, educated, male. You can't just be anybody to vote back when. It changed. It changed because people wanted it to change. The good came out to give women the right to vote, to give black community the right to vote. Of course, these things change. Well, look what it took to change. Are you different than those people? I, I don't think so. We're not that different. We have different cores, different teachings, but we're not different. That's why go down to the core, go down to the foundation. But stop this nonsense about changing basic ideals, basic foundations. Let the people talk. But if you're Christian, live by the Christian ethic. And I don't see a lot of these Christians doing that. It's a sad thing for me. It's hurt me in a lot of ways. Not just because, oh, I don't agree with that. You're talking eternal life here. Talking eternal life. Do these people talk about that? They talk about hate. You see some of these things? People applauding, laughing that a woman was attacked, brutalized. They laugh at that. Should be no laughter there. Even though they agree that the whole thing was wrong. They should have never laughed, but they do. What's wrong with that? You know what's wrong. You don't want your children to do that. Whoever child is listening to that, you don't want to do that. That's respect. Where is that coming from? Anyway, this LLC thing, giving a vote to corporations. If anybody has any influence, do what you can. It's just totally nuts. Keep your vote. It's your power. It's your strength. It's the only strength you have. And as a group of people, it's tremendous strength. It's analogous to gravity, for example. Gravity is minuscule. So, minimal. But when you have the thing the size of the earth or the sun or whatever, whoa, power increases. Power increases. You've heard of black holes? The ultimate crushing power. That's all gravity. Mass. That's you. You are the masses. Vote accordingly. Vote from your heart. Vote. And I say it again, time and time again. I'm not preaching Christianity, but Christ's words mean something. Agape. Agape. Accept, respect, and lead without masterfulness. Lead as a servant. You are a servant of the people, not the master of the people. I don't care what these people say. Look at what they do and how they make their money, and money talks. My best wishes on this 4th of July. Do something about these LLCs. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Corporations do not need a vote in any government thing. None. Zero. People need the vote, not corporations. Best wishes. If you like this, subscribe, put a like to it, all that stuff. Send it on if you could. See if if I have any value to some of you, or give any value. I hope so. Take care. My best. Respect this country for what it is. It is a beacon in many ways. Still an experiment, my friends. Still an experiment. Hasn't changed. We're still on the very young. Very young. Don't let it break apart. Don't let it break apart. This is some minority people yelling and screaming and carrying on. You know what's right. Go to the right. Get legislatures that believe in your policies, but follow just decorum, follow procedures, follow the authorities that have been set out to guide people. People need guidance. Jeez, it's not going to end if you let people do whatever the heck they want. This book banning is just a statement of fact, and you know perfectly well that is not right to do. Stop it. Guide your children. Don't put blinders on your children. All right, I continue. Trying to keep the clip shorter. Can't seem to do it. All right. Take care. My best wishes. Happy 4th.